now we are joined on the phone by Tim Poulin, the Deputy Director for the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. Good morning, Tim. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you on this fine Wednesday morning?
Oh, the fine Wednesday morning. I'm not ready for the cold weather. I'm one of those guys. I just, it's not even winter yet, so I'm not ready for the -1 temperatures. But people keep telling me, you live in Maine. You've lived in Maine for 34 years. You just got to get used to it.
Yeah, I would say buck up. Let's go.
Yeah, but okay, you're one of those guys.
I'm one of those guys.
You're one of those guys that has
through and through.
no problem telling me to shut up and just deal with it. Tim, Deputy Director of Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. That is a big title. How did you get there?
Well, I've been here almost 9 years, working on my 33rd year here in state government. Most of that time spent in the Secretary of State's office. And I followed a Secretary of State here to the Bureau. Former Secretary of State Dan Godowski, after his 8-year term as Secretary of State, was appointed the director here at the Bureau and asked me to come join him all those years ago.
And is the job pretty much what you expected it to be, or is it a lot more challenging? Or
well, it was interesting. I didn't play the lottery, so I didn't really know much about it other than Maine had a lottery, and the alcohol part, I'm generally aware of it. I do like a cocktail once in a while, so it was fine. I didn't know all the things that went into, especially the lottery business and selling spirits, and the business model for the spirits business has changed since I first came here for the better, and it's a good gig. I sell alcohol and control alcohol and sell lottery, so it's a pretty good gig, really.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you involved with anything outside of the Maine State Lottery and their dealings?
When you say outside of the Maine State Lottery?
Like casinos or anything like that?
No, we strictly just, here at the Bureau, just manage the lottery business.
Okay. And what would you say is the most challenging part of your job?
Well, this is a sales marketing organization, so we're always trying to find, the best, on the lottery side, the best products for our consumers. When the Powerball jackpot or the Mega Millions jackpot gets up to $500 or $600 or $700 million, that sells itself. People play that game because, it's about winning, those multi-million-dollar jackpots. Our scratch games are important for our consumers. They love that. They range from $1 to $25. So there's something for everyone. You can play for $1. You can pay for $25. And that's the challenge, is finding what the consumer wants. And so we're always looking at that. And on the spirits business, we have a ton of great products. Our biggest challenge has always been the perception that our prices are higher here in Maine compared to New Hampshire. And so since 2014, when we actually kind of took back the overall responsibility for the business, we've had aggressive pricing. We're competing with New Hampshire. Maine consumers have no reason to cross the border other than if they have this perception that it's all about sales tax. If they don't want to pay sales tax, then they're going to go to New Hampshire no matter what.
Right. Okay, we are talking to Tim Poulin, the Deputy Director for the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. Coming up next segment, we're going to cover something called Age ID. We're going to find out what it is and how it works. You're listening to The Breakfast Club on Maine's Big Z. Daughtry with Home on Maine's Big Z 92.7. We are streaming online at mainsbigz.com, right there on the home page through the TuneIn app. Mark Turcott sitting in for Maddie B all week long. Glad you can join us. This morning we have Tim Poulin, the Deputy Director for the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. And Tim, I'm looking at this sheet over here about Age ID. It's the first I hear of it. What is it and how does it work?
Yeah, so Age ID is an app for any mobile device, whether it's for Android or OIS or any other tablet for that matter. And so, here at the Bureau, we take the issue of underage access to alcohol very seriously. We have a major focus here at the Bureau to prohibit the sale of beer, wine, and spirits to minors. And when you stop sales, you stop consumption and the needless tragedies that often come with that. So annually we apply for an educational award from our National Trade Association, the National Alcohol Beverage Control Association. And in past years we've done other social responsibility initiatives like Talk They'll Listen, so information for parents to talk to their kids about alcohol. We encouraged 2 or 3 years ago kids at schools to create videos about the importance of not drinking and driving or drinking, and awarded cash prizes to the school to support different programs at the school. So we do those things because it's important to keep communicating with minors about the dangers of drinking. And so this year we are awarded $45,000, and one thing we're doing with that educational award this year is to offer to 150 retail establishments that sell alcohol for on-premise consumption, so you drink at the establishment, an opportunity to have this Age ID technology. And so what Age ID does is it you scan the back of a driver's license, and it validates the legitimacy of that ID. So, the old-fashioned way, someone gives you the bartender, they hand you their ID, you look at it, you do the math, okay, they're born in 1983 and it's 2018. If you do that good math in your head and you can know that they're born before or after that date, okay, they're of age. You look at it, that license looks okay, but in this day and age, you can order some pretty darn good replicas of driver's licenses from different states. And so so that visual inspection can't help you necessarily identify that as a fake ID. And so what this app does, as I said, it scans it, and there's on both the magnet strip and the data matrix barcode on the back of all licenses, there's encoded information into that barcode. And unless it's encoded in there, it's not going to be picked up. And so you scan the ID, and it tells you the name of the person, the state the ID is issued from, partial information about the license number, and their age. And so when we first tested this, we had a bunch of IDs that had been confiscated out of the city of Poulin, and we tested it on a variety of things, and you could see some were valid IDs and some were invalid. And so that's what this technology does.
And my daughter just received her driver's license, and I think what they're doing now in the state is if you are under 21, it's a vertical license.
That's correct. Yep.
And they also have, she was 17 at the time, and they also have in red at the top the date that she turns 18 and the date that she turns 21. But as you mentioned, with the technology we have now, no matter what lengths we go to inform people of that they're still going to be one step ahead, and this is a great resource for facilities in the state of Maine.
Oh, absolutely is, and it's around we're paying it's around $300 a year, so these 150 retailers can have access to this, and then we hope that they use that after ongoing, because again. As new technology helps identify fake IDs, then the folks who are creating fake IDs are always going to be trying to do the next step to try to make them better. And so this technology will keep up with that. And Age ID has access to all 50 states, all the Canadian provinces, and all the states in Mexico. So it's very robust, and it does a tremendous job, what we've looked at it. And I know my counterparts in New York State scanned 1,000 IDs, and all 1,000 were properly validated.
Wow.
Whether they were right or wrong.
Yeah, excellent. We are talking to Tim Poulin, the Deputy Director for the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. We'll have more with him coming up in just a bit. You're listening to The Breakfast Club on Maine's Big Z. That's Halsey Without Me on Maine's Big Z 92.7, streaming online through the TuneIn app at mainsbigz.com. It is Mark Turcott in for Maddie B all week long. 7:38 on the clock, 15 degrees outside. It's going to get up to 26 today and then down to 1 below zero tonight. But I am not going to complain about that because, as my guest told me, I just need to buck up and deal with it. Right, Tim?
That's right.
Tim Poulin, the Deputy Director for the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations, is our guest. He's been employed by the state of Maine for 33 years and is in his 9th year in his current position. We are talking about Age ID, taking age verification one step further into the digital age. And Tim was mentioning that the state liquor licensees are receiving the program free for 1 year. Tim, what has been the response from alcohol retailers about this program?
Well, because the program is new, it's a little early to draw any conclusions. I know that one of our partners up in Orono at Marsh Island Brewing is using it, and again, our message to retailers is that we want to help them be good partners in their communities, and keeping access away from minors of alcohol is one of the things that we want to do in partnership together with all of our licensees. And so it's limited, and so the message I want to say is that we have many licenses still available for the Age ID, and if you're an on-premise licensee and want access and try this out, we're happy to help you out to do that.
Now, where do, in your line of work, you see this all the time, but where are kids going to get their fake IDs, and how do they access them?
Well, my understanding, I haven't gone out there and looked for myself, but through all our national organizations, we belong to a couple of other ones. It's the internet. You can go and probably Google and find a place to find these. When I was in college, the drinking age kept moving. When I turned 18 and went to 19, and so on and so forth, until I got to 21, and a guy that lived in my dorm that was making fake IDs, and they were pretty hideous. Cut out things, and then he used an iron to do things. So the technology is now different, and these IDs are looking too good to be true in many cases. I was looking at some recently that the one was from the state of Maryland. I looked because people can use an ID checking guide, a book. I looked in the book, and geez, that looks pretty close to what that is, but it did not scan properly. So it's the internet. You can find anything you want on the internet. Not, who knows, maybe even Amazon sells it. Not just, I'm joking, but
right. Their site's gonna blow up today.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've moved well beyond hot glue and duct tape when it comes to making fake IDs.
Yeah, that's it. And again, because these I call these fraudsters out there making these IDs, they can only put certain information in that barcode, and basically it's just the name and the state, the name of the person and the state. Nothing else they can encode in that to get past this technology. So it's helpful at the moment, but eventually they're going to figure out some of this, and so IntelliJect, who owns this proprietary technology, is going to just have to keep ahead of all those smart people out there trying to take advantage of these fake IDs.
Yeah. Our guest this morning is Tim Poulin, Deputy Director for the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. We'll be back for our final segment with Tim coming up in just a bit. You're listening to The Breakfast Club on Maine's Big Z. AJR with Burn the House Down on Maine's Big Z 92.7. And we're streaming online at mainsbigz.com. It's Mark Turcott sitting in the big chair for Matty B. Matty is, I heard he was on vacation, but then he stopped in the office yesterday, so he might not be. I don't know. He's a very busy man. But what I do know is I'll be filling in for him the rest of the week and possibly a little longer. Our guest this morning, Tim Poulin, Deputy Director for the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. We were talking about Age ID, using technology to take age verification one step further. And Tim, do you find that underage drinking is more prevalent this time of year?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Folks kids who go away to college who are still under 21 come home, want to meet up with their friends, holiday parties, all those things. So yes, I think underage drinking is more prevalent, this time of the year.
And what would your advice be to, the uncles or the aunts that are like, oh, just take a little drink, it's the holidays. What harm could it do?
Well, again, science tells us that the brain doesn't completely grow, and that's not the word I'm looking to develop until, that's the word, develop, until you're in your early 20s, and so consumption of alcohol does affect your brain, clearly. And so, for Uncle Joe to say, "Here, have a beer," is not the right thing to do, and we should strive always to keep alcohol out of the hands of our children, because you never know what is going to happen.
Absolutely. And I understand you also have a new app that is out, for the Maine Spirits app?
Yes. So in Google Play or in the App Store, it's called Create a Recipe, but it's Maine Spirits. So you can download that app, be able to see the special pricing we have year-round. Your favorite products, you can save them, see what the pricing is. We have some push notifications to let you know when pricing is, new pricing is coming out or when it's ending. All kinds of recipes this time of the year, especially, if you're hosting holiday parties and want, some a whiskey punch or a rum punch or something, or some special cocktails. Those are all in our app. So we encourage folks who want to see that to go ahead and download that Create a Recipe app for Maine Spirits.
All right. He is Tim Poulin, Deputy Director for the Maine Bureau of Alcoholic Beverages and Lottery Operations. Tim, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time as well.
All right. Have a great holiday.
Yes, you too.
You're listening to The Breakfast Club on Maine's Big Z.